A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. Today on the Manspace. Welcome to the Manspace podcast. We're your hosts, Doctors Matt Brown and Rob Porter, and clinical therapist Mike Porter. Welcome, Spacemen. Mike, is that from Pirates of Penzance? Did I get it wrong?
Yeah, it is.
Is that a most ingenious paradox?
Yeah.
Or it's spoof, a pair of socks, a pair of socks, a pair of socks.
I wouldn't know the spoof. I only know the actual song.
Dude, Mike, you look like you should be holding a pipe and have some leather-bound books behind you today.
Yeah.
Right? It's like 40 degrees. 50 degrees. It's 50 degrees outside.
I mean, it's 66 where we are, but supposedly feels like 60. Which is
my
very
real
chilly to me.
feel.
Roll full.
What is my real feel right now? My real feel is 46.
I was worried a little bit about my homeless guy.
Matt's got a homeless guy that lives right behind his office.
There's a little kind of a little embankment type of thing that he sleeps on and watches shows at night. I walked out there.
That's my favorite.
But the dude loves Cheez-Its, man. There are like 5 Cheez-Its boxes.
Boxes of Cheez-Its.
Yeah. Maybe I should make him a little Cheez-Its.
You should introduce him to the zesty sharp cheddar.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Just be like, here, man. Here's a box just for you.
just go out there, put a couple boxes out there and put a QR code to our podcast. See if we can, it'll be an experiment to see what kind of man he becomes.
Instead of a bike back there, all of a sudden he rolls out in a big Jeep. Hey, man.
I invested in Cheez-Its. I finally have a whole bunch of money. I like the way, I thought you were going to say you're worried because he's cold or
No,
something.
I was wondering because it's
worried that he's eating too many Cheez-Its.
That's it. I do. There's because he's back behind this fence in between 2 buildings, so I could probably hang out for a little bit and try and catch what he's listening to.
I just like that. All right. I guess we're rolling right into this. You guys have any fun banter?
Well,
someone, I bet you there's listeners right now. It's like, stop! You're right there. Don't start bantering. Just go.
I'm trying to think of what's happening in our lives.
I feel like I've been working way too much. Last 2 days I've done 2 to 8 day, which is more than I like. It's 5 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. It's too much, man. Too much. And so when people ask what's happening in my life, I'm like, I don't know. It's like a blur of clients.
Yeah, I was going to say some days are just.
But you do that all the time.
And over.
Yeah. You're like used to doing 8 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. I was thinking back though, what did we talk about last? We were talking about confidence and humility. I think it's weird in some ways. As a therapist, that's kind of maybe the most grounded you can feel during your day some days because of that. Because I am just
confident.
Well, I'm not thinking about me, right? I'm thinking about, that's totally out of the conversation. And I think when we're at our best, it's like there's only one thing to pay attention to in that moment.
That is true, which it does make it interesting for conversation later because it's like, well, that's what I was thinking about all day. And there are times when I feel like I can do 8 in a row, even when I feel like I'm in the zone with somebody and I feel confident what I'm doing, then it feels like I could do this all day. I only really ever struggle with therapy when it feels like, what am I even doing for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's when
you're just not.
It's like the worst thing ever. Yeah. Also, when you say what we talked about last time, because actually some of that some of that confidence and humility, I think, ties into this in my head, what we're talking about today. But my friend Ryan, he listens to the podcast. And he said something about, and I was like, what was that? And then I remembered, I think, have fun in Kansas City, hanging out with buff ladies and ordering food by the dude's worth. And I was like, dude's worth?
4 dudes worth or whatever you said.
Yeah, who was that? Was
Mike
it Mike?
talking about the bodybuilder eating 4 dudes worth of food?
Yeah.
So he kind of conjures up images of scarfing down dudes or eating what they were eating.
It's like the British version of a stone. You know, he's got 3 stones. It's like, I got 7 dudes worth. Dudes worth. I want to start saying that all the time. Oh, I had a dude's worth of a lunch today. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this mood down. Here's this. Let me tell you a story. Not really. Let me just tell you what happened with this dude who was describing to me this issue that we're going to be talking about today. Maybe I lost the issue in my head, but this metaphor has stuck with me. And my wife and I talked about this a little bit more. Because we almost did this article by Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? That song. Oh, actually, before I do this, I'm going to tell you a story that ChatGPT made me. You guys have to listen to this part. It's very brief. I asked Chat, said, give me a perfect description of a strong and vulnerable man as it would appear in a romance novel.
Well, you lost me at the end.
This is what it. Well, this is. There's a reason why I said as it would appear in a romance novel.
Seriously.
This is the basis. So I'll read. It's like 3 paragraphs. He was the kind of man whose strength.
So long.
Just stay with me. He was the kind of man whose strength didn't need to be announced. It lived quietly in the breadth of his shoulders and the stillness in his gaze. The way he moved through the world as a self-assured calm, with a self-assured calm that made others take notice. There was a gravity to him, a steady pulse of confidence that drew people close, as if his presence alone could anchor chaos. His hands looked capable of anything, building, protecting, even destroying. But when they touched, they did so with surprising gentleness. Yet, behind that strength lay something raw and human. In the shadow of his eyes, he could see the weight of old wounds. Losses carried too long, promises broken by circumstances rather than choice. His vulnerability wasn't weakness. It was proof of a heart that still dared to feel deeply, even when it hurt. He wore his scars like quiet truths, never hiding them, never letting them define him, but they softened him in a way that strength alone never could. When he spoke, his voice carried both steadiness and ache, like a storm, long past but not forgotten. And when he loved, it wasn't half-hearted or cautious. He loved with the same intensity as his strength and with the same honesty as his pain. He was a man forged by fire and tenderness, a paradox that made him impossible to forget.
Oh, man.
A most ingenious paradox.
See? So here's why I had Chat write that up, because I've periodically read, like I'll go online and read, like someone will tell me some romance novel they're reading. Some woman will and women will tell me like, oh, I read these novels because they help get me in the mood to be with my husband. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go read some. Someone once told me to go read 50 Shades of Grey, and I went and read an excerpt online. I was like, holy no. There was stuff I was reading. I was like, gross. Does this turn somebody on? But
yes, lots of women apparently.
But this guy was talking to me, and he's telling me that, you know, I was my wife has seen me in these really weak, vulnerable places, which is what she says she wants, but she doesn't actually want that. And that's when he said she wants me to have just like slayed an army, and then to feel, then she wants to see my vulnerability. And then we went a little further and kind of developed in this idea that really it's what they want. It seems like sometimes is that I'll go out and I'll slay an army because it's not what I want to do, but it's what I must do to protect those I love. And when I come back, I can weep gently in my strong way at the hurt that I've had to do to protect those I love. And I'm ready to go do it again if need be. That's the kind of like softness that women want, the vulnerability. This is what he's saying to me. He's like, it's not that they want, I'm weak and I need help. And so I talked about this with my wife. You played that little clip of a podcast for us where essentially the guy's saying the same thing in similar ways. Like, if you actually hear this from me, then it creates worry in you. It creates like that I now have to take care of. You're gonna, if I say something's wrong with the business, you're gonna start to worry, and now I have to take care of that worry. I have to do this or this, and this is where my client and I went. It's tricky because it's like women are like, I want to feel emotionally close to you, and I think, okay, well, what does that mean? You know, like if we want to have sex, well, what does that mean? Does emotionally close to me mean that I came to you and said, I'm just really freaked out, like the world seems like too much? Or does it mean that I have a fire and tenderness that is impossible to forget? That's like, the world is scary, but I am man enough to conquer
but I
it.
don't hide them.
Like that when I touch, it's still with surprising tenderness. Somehow I think you'd break me, but it turns out to be soft. And it's this like impossible thing that there's a book back from the 90s called The New Male Sexuality. And the way it's written is like hilarious. We had to read it in grad school to talk about this is what men are kind of coming up against.
Wrote it?
I can't.
The title sounds really familiar, but I can't remember.
The New Male Sexuality. That's not the right one. Bernie Zilbergeld. That doesn't feel. 1999. I think that's it. But there's just a chunk where it describes like he's like, what are men supposed to do? This is from a novel that women would read about what this sexual experience would be like with this man. And he's like, it's impossible. Like, it's essentially that he fills me up till I can feel it in my, in my throat. And it's like, what? Like his manhood could feel, it's like,
Thanks, Rob. We got it.
I can't do that. Like, so it's this place, like even this thing where it's like, somehow I'm supposed to be vulnerable and soft while still also being masculine. And as soon as we're not masculine, it's a turnoff. We can almost be needy. And they don't want to take care of our need, even though they say they want to take care of our need. Why won't you show me your need? And then when we do, they're like, okay, but I don't want to do this. Now it's like, I don't want to do that. Now it's like, I'm your mom. It's like, well, then what am I supposed to do? So I don't know. Like, there's a second part to this that I think where I've been talking a lot with men about. It's not that you have to be needy, but you do have to give her some information. Her brain can go in for some of these women I'm working with, it's like her brain's going in 80 directions. And if you don't give any information, she'll just pick probably the worst one and it will go in the worst place. And then you look like a jerk. But I guess like I look at this and I think, I do think this is something, there's truth in this. Like the article that we're talking about where it's like, where have all the good men gone, or where have all the men gone? It's like, well, and the comments, Matt, you're saying everyone's like, you guys told me to leave, so I left. Like, or you like ripped me up so bad. Why would I stick around? Then I feel like there is this, it goes back to the double standard episode we talked about where it's like, well, what are we supposed to do? So thinking in this, and I don't know, how much you guys feel like you've seen this, or if this is like, because I don't think I've ever actually, I'm trying to think if I've experienced this in my relationship with my wife, where it's like I was too vulnerable and that was a turnoff for her. I've even asked her, like, do you sometimes wish that I was like a little more stereotypical male? Like, I don't know, super overly masculine. I say overly because I must be a little masculine, right? But like, she's always been like, no, I don't like, that's not a turn on to me. So I don't feel like I've experienced it, but I've seen it in so many relationships where I feel like you don't actually want the thing you say you want from him, because as soon as he does it, you get kind of upset.
Yeah.
Like now you have to take care of his problem, but you just ask, do that. So A, do you see it, but B, what do we do? Fix it. Mikey wants you to respond. You can't see his hand.
Michael.
I can't.
Full name.
Yeah, now I'm in trouble. My daughter's gotten in the habit of calling me by my full name. It's weird.
Dude, I love when my kid calls me Rob.
I actually think it's funny.
I know.
She does it all the time. She's like, well, I can't call you woman. And she says, so I have to call you Michael.
I've been called Queen, King, and then my daughter keeps doing this.
I get.
She keeps doing this thing where she's like, Matt.
Matt.
So I think I have some issues first with the way your guy phrased stuff, or at least the way you said he phrased stuff.
I'm ready to fight you because I liked it.
I'm sure you did.
And I'm a man and I fight. And then I feel bad afterward.
But I'll do it again if I must.
Quietly, if I must.
No, my issue was in his reference to these, at least the way you phrased it, these shows of emotion as weakness. And I thought, well, there's the first problem right there for most of us. And I'm guilty of this too, but we still view what we consider to be an overt show of emotion as a weakness.
Yes.
We have half the problem right there. Yes. Why is it a weakness? Well, the assumption is because there's something wrong with it. Well, sure. If we're going to sit here and talk about emotions are wrong, then yeah, we're going to have some problems. We're never going to fit everything.
Right. Okay.
And so like I have a little bit of an issue with that just off the bat. Like I think, no, that's part of the problem is you yourself view these things as something that must be hidden because you view them as a weakness as opposed to a reflection of where you're at any given moment.
Okay.
And again, I can think of, I've done this in the last 2 weeks and, you know, felt like I just let all my weakness out on the table. So it's not like I don't do it. I'm just saying, I think there's an issue in the fact that we see these things and view them as weakness. As though it's not okay to feel the emotion we're feeling.
When you say we, do you mean we men or do you mean we humans?
Humans, but I think humans, because like obviously the way this scenario is set up, clearly this guy's wife also views it as a weakness.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the main,
and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of the crux of that argument.
She doesn't actually want to see that weakness played out.
Yeah, they say they want the vulnerability, but they don't, like like what the Chat GPT says. His vulnerability wasn't weakness. The fact that it specifies, I understand this is Chat GPT, but it is pulling from wherever it steals its information from. So it is prevalent enough to say that women reading this would have to know, like, well, but not weak. Don't be weak. So there is this prevalent idea that like they want us to be vulnerable, but not weak.
But
whatever that means.
I guess. Well, and I agree. And that's where I'll get into the next part of where I think there's some problematic stuff here. But again, it's that idea that there is invulnerability and inherent weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, that's a problem. One, because I mean, the simple fact that we're having this conversation means no, we're strong enough to hide it. Which means if we're letting it out by choice. How is that a weakness? Okay. How is me choosing to let it out a weakness?
Right. I agree.
So, I think some of this goes away if we start, which, I mean, it's not like an easy shift to make, but some of it goes away if we stop using that language to describe it. And again, it's not like a shift that happens overnight. Like,
right.
This is the way it's been for decades. But, yeah, that was my my first. My second issue was, and I think I've probably said something like this before, but it feels like this guy's wife, and I'll just extend it and say, women who follow this line of thinking, like she does, they ask for it, they experience it, they don't like it, and so then they kick back. And yeah, I've seen versions of this play out. I don't know that I've ever at least directly talked about it associated with the vulnerability, but I've seen versions of it play out, right?
Yeah.
The wife who says, I want my husband to be more involved, and then the husband gets involved and gets yelled at for doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I think, like I've seen versions of it. But I think in the instance when we start talking about vulnerability, I think part of the issue is they're looking for a feeling. They have this idea, whether it's from, books like what GPT wrote for us, or whether it's just this narrative that they've kind of developed in their head of like, this is what the perfect marriage is. And they go looking, it will feel like this. When my husband is vulnerable with me, it's going to feel like this. They have no idea what that actually is.
Yeah.
Like most of them, if you were to ask them, so what's the feeling you're looking for? Well, it's the old saying about porn. Well, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I see it. Right? Well, I don't actually know the feeling, but I'll know it when I feel it. And I think, that's a problem because it's not going to feel like you expect. And so it's therefore going to be wrong. And you're going to go back and say, well, you did it wrong. And so this poor guy, because it's an ill-defined concept that we're looking at, like, it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to end up missing the mark because it's not going to feel like she expects it to feel like.
I think it's interesting, actually, as you're saying that. I was just thinking through this and thinking it does leave women in this place where they're like passive recipients, which isn't what they want. And I was kind of thinking too, I don't think I want to make this about women having a double standard for men like we've talked about before, but maybe it's more about women are in a spot too where it's like, they do want to feel safe, as men do, and don't know how to get it. They read something like this and it sounds like that's how I'd get it. What's interesting in this story is it's like he's not asking for help. He just has hurt behind his eyes. Like I can see it, but he's not asking me to deal with it. So he lets me see it, but he says, this is mine to take care of, which is what it should be. Like, I have this. It is mine to take care of. I will share it with you, but I need to take care of this. I think that's an issue too with when we were talking about that, because I felt like, when that guy's response, when he says in that chunk of that podcast we listened to, when he's like, now you're worried about this and it's going to change the way you interact with me and you're going to pull back from me. And so if I want to feel close to you, I'm going to have to go and make up for that to come back to this. There's sometimes that does happen, that for the females too, it's like, well, now I'm worried. I need you to take care of this. And I get lots of people in my office where it is a woman saying, he needs to be better so that I feel better. Me saying, you feeling better is going to be up to you. Or you feeling more, I had this conversation yesterday, you feeling more attracted to him is going to be up to you. So Mike, when you're talking about they're looking for a feeling, it's a mistake to think it will happen to me when I finally meet whoever this beautiful, impossible to forget paradox.
I think his name's Robo Crotch.
Robo Crotch. This is a chapter from our book coming out. We wanted to let you guys know our next book club will be our book called Robo Crotch.
Robo Crotch.
Robo Crotch. Impossible to forget.
The real Manspace.
But Mike, that's what I think. It's interesting to think about that. That's like, my client is responding to a perceived need to give her something she's looking for. He's frustrated because she didn't get it. And so she's not happy. He's like, I gave her what she's asking for, but it was too much. instead of recognizing this is a space that two people have to create together. So this, even that article is like, where have the men gone? Which Mike is saying that it is also about, like, literally they're not out in public. But it is kind of funny that it's like, well, if we've gone somewhere, it means the dynamic is off, which means you've gone somewhere. Like you went to some other place. And so we're adjusting to what you're doing and you're adjusting to what we're doing, instead of like, I will feel good when you do this. I think I solved it. You guys don't need to say anymore.
We're all done.
Sorry, David W.
Shortest episode ever.
3 points. I really want to meet David W. now.
I want him to comment on our stuff again. I haven't seen him in a while.
Probably like, I'm done with that.
Probably because we keep calling him out. Yeah, he's like, I'm not commenting
No,
there.
that's
They
a funny
keep
thing.
calling me out.
I don't think we ever meant to call him out. It was a good point.
No, I actually, I've called him out as a way of saying, I think he made a good point.
Yeah.
But now it's like, we're making fun of David W.
I was going to say, it just may not sound that way to David W.
Yeah, these guys are jerks.
Oh, yeah.
Forget the Manspace. I'm going to go listen to other Manspace podcasts.
I'll get into that another time, Mike, when we're not recording. I'll tell you later.
It's the paid version that's just behind our eyes, guys.
It's just behind our eyes.
Just behind our eyes.
A paradox, impossible to forget.
If you look closely, you'll see it.
Manspace, behind the eyes.
That's like remember those behind the musics?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually love those.
On today's episode,
Of Behind
Matt
the Eyes.
Brown.
Yeah.
I guess what I wonder in this then is, like, for a dude listening, I think I've heard this enough from clients that a lot of dudes feel this way. And I've felt elements of it that's like among men or among women. It's like, well, we want you to be a certain way. And the fact that it's like this, like what you're describing, Mike, is this quiet confidence that oozes from him, that pulls people towards him. It's like, well, I don't have that. But I don't know what we're like. I mean, in my head, I always have this kind of oversimplified answer of like, well, men, you need to do this.
Yeah.
But what is it we're telling men to do? Because I think a lot of men have experienced this.
I don't know. No, I don't know that this is a to-do, but
I know. It's just the way you said it. I don't know. But anyway, I was thinking about this burrito I had earlier.
It was a real good burrito.
I guess tying that video we watched in, I do think, well, I'll say that my experience has not been this. So,
like with clients,
me,
or
like my personal experience hasn't been this. So I would agree with you. I see it a lot in clients. And I think in a moment like that, just like the video said, I think a lot of guys in that situation they're calculating the cost, and the woman is seeking connection. And I think you have to kind of share a bit of what the other person is holding to really come together on something like that. Because if I am looking at just the cost, then I'm going to think, if I share this, it's going to make you feel this way. And then I'll end up taking care of that. I've heard that a lot, and I've seen, a lot of different people express that, on social media and things, where it's like, if I tell you, particularly not like where I'm struggling, but if I tell you any negative feelings I have about something that happened between the two of us, it will upset you. And then we will be talking about that, and I'll be taking care of that and apologizing for that. And we will come back to my feelings.
Yeah.
So that's a cost that I don't really want to incur until I can't hold it anymore. And then I'll like blow up passive aggressively or something. Right. But, yeah. And then like you're saying, like women may be right on the threshold of like, there's something there. Maybe he loves me enough that he'll share it with me.
Yeah.
And then once it's shared, it's kind of like the magic is gone. And then all of a sudden the cost sets in. Oh my gosh, I don't like how this feels. Right. And so now I'm going to retreat. And again, hasn't been my personal experience has been much opposite to that. So I don't think this is like every situation, but
yeah, for sure.
Do you
It's
think
not.
that when it plays out that way, for sure, it's I'm gonna pull back as a man. I'm not gonna give you anything that you can connect with in me, and I'm not able to really connect with you either because I don't even know what I'm feeling. But I do think there's this side part to this where I think someone just threw up a ladder right next to
Someone's gonna be climbing in the window.
my office. Has been like a construction zone for like a solid month, but I think to this guy and any guy who's in this situation, I would say whatever it is that you're carrying is absolutely important, and you do need a place to share that and be supported in it. But just like we've talked about in other episodes, we've probably made the couple relationship way more than it ever was supposed to be. Having guys talk to you about this stuff is really important. Share it openly. Nobody's what you're going to get back to, and women need to have women that they can share their experiences with too. And I think that there's probably just a lot of put into couple conversations that never really intended to be there.
Yeah.
As like the sole place that you find support for those things.
Yeah.
But I think you're right when you were talking earlier about if I share it with you kind of not unwillingly, but withholdingly, I'm showing you that I can contain this and hold it, and you don't need to take responsibility for it, but I'll let you peek and see it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that, because I think that is like the trope of like female porn, right? When you talk about like Twilight and all those books, things like that, is like, I'm strong enough to like kill you, but I'm going to love you and protect you.
So I was just thinking, did you see that Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell got in trouble because on their anniversary she posted a quote from him that he gave her, which was like, it's everyone was mad because it's during National like Abuse Awareness Month.
Oh yeah,
where he's like, I could kill you, but I love you, so I choose not to. But like, kind of like,
as though it's an option in my mind.
Yeah, he kind of said like, I could, and I've considered it, but I choose not to because he's kind of joking with her. But then she got serious. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you post that. And it's like, you guys, do you not know who they are as a couple?
Yeah,
but
I do think that what you were saying earlier, Mike, I do think that like not even holding it. Well, I'll say a lot of guys do know I'm carrying this burden, and I'm willingly carrying it, and I'm tapping into my strength to be able to do it by focusing on like the purpose of whatever it is. But then there's a lot of internalized issues for men that don't like, the weakness really is not even allowing yourself to pay attention to what it is, right?
Yeah.
And because it's going to overwhelm me if I let it out. But yeah, that's an area for growth. So sharing it is a step towards growth, right? But I do think that's not full circle yet, right? Being able, just like all of us, to say, I need to be able to share my emotions and my struggles with you, and I need it to be clear that I'm taking responsibility for it, and ultimately I'm the one that has to resolve this, and I'm inviting you into a place to support me with it. But I think what you're talking about, I guess when you talk about connection and things, it's like, so you want me to share that with you so you feel more attracted to me? Well, that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm doing something for you that maybe I wouldn't need to do otherwise. If I'm sharing it because you want to know me better, then don't judge me, right? And and hear me, clearly. But I think that there is a balance, I think, for men and women to be able to share something in a way that it's clear. I was talking to a client one time, and she was she was saying over and over again, I don't want you to feel responsible for my feelings. I want to be able to have my feelings and express them, and I don't want you to take responsibility for them. And then she shared them, and I was like, how do you expect him not to feel responsible when you say it that way?
Yeah.
He was like, what do you mean? So we talked back. She's like, oh yeah, like now I see the way I'm communicating it does, like that's not what I mean, right? And so we rephrased it, and I think we all just need a lot of work in knowing how to communicate things in a way that lets people witness it, but not feel like you've just asked them to take care of something that they cannot solve. They cannot resolve for you.
That's when you were talking, I thought, I guess in my head, I'm so fascinated by this ladder thing. I can't wait to see a guy climbing up. I keep looking out the window.
Yeah, my building keeps getting prettier on the outside. It's always been pretty on the inside.
I know Matt's office is my favorite, but this, as I've thought about it, I was thinking, I think in my head, then the fix for men is like, if you're going, and this is men and women, like if you're going to another person saying, I'm having this kind of internal thing where I'm freaked out, or this is worrying me, or this, and it's now the other person's job to take care of it, like, then I think that's a problem. Or if you're going and framing something in a way that's like, hey, I can't figure out, our finances are this and this are happening, and I don't know what we're going to do. And therefore you then step away from that challenge. I think that's a problem. If you're doing that and posing to the person to say, take care of this, that's a problem. And in that example we have from the podcast where he's saying, now you're worried about it and I have to take care of that worry. I think, well, that's a problem. You shouldn't be taking care of that worry. But also it may be in the way you framed this, because sometimes I think it matters. And I've done this with my wife, to come and say, hey, this, like, there's this thing, it's freaking me out. I need to talk through this with you so that, like, I'm getting it out of me a little bit. And I need, for me, getting it out helps me reframe it and see it differently. But I'm not proposing you do anything different. And then I'll work through that and say, this is still my thing. Sometimes I will say, and I think this is helpful to say, if, for example, she was worried now, to say, yeah, I need you to worry with me. Like, I need you with me in this. I think we both need to be a little worried so we can brainstorm together. So this isn't just a me thing. Because there are some things like that where we don't want to share. It's like, well, I'll just do this. It's like, it should be a you guys together thing. And I think we need to be willing to say, this needs to be an us thing, but we'll figure this out. And I think it's okay to say, we'll figure this out, but I need to talk through the crap that's freaking me out. Like, you can still, that's part of that kind of confident humility. This, like, well, this does freak me out, but we'll figure it out. Like, but talking with you and getting you on the same page with me, and even overtly stating, because when you say we have to figure out communication, sometimes I'm like, well, sometimes we just have to do communication. We're just not doing it. It's like, to be able to say, I'm not saying this so that you have to take care of this now, but I am telling you where I'm at. Because if this is why I seem a little distant, or this is why this is, because I'm a little in my head with this, and I'm trying to not be in my head. I think that goes a long way to being open and being a paradox of masculinity. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, so this idea of how do I, right, like, of saying to your spouse, like, hey, no, this is a time when I need you to kind of be a little bit freaked out with me. If I'm a guy who's not shared anything in the past, how do I differentiate between, here's something I need you to come and be freaked out with me on, and here's something that's just mine to handle? How do I know the difference between those two things? Because if I've never shared, how do I know?
Well, that's an interesting question. In my mind, I feel like, I guess when I say this is mine to handle, I always feel like it's always mine to handle. Like, even when I say I need you to be freaked out with me, it's not saying this is yours to handle now. It's me saying, I'll get through this, but I need to kind of just shift to you for a little bit and just talk through it.
But then why does she need to be freaked out with me?
I don't think she needs to be freaked out with me. It's just kind of, it's what empathy is. it's like saying, I just need to know you understand what's going on for me, because then you get where I'm coming from and you understand me as a human. But no, it's still mine to figure out. And that, as a listener, that's our job to say, man, that is freaking hard. And if I can help, I will. But I recognize this is a you thing, but I can come talk to me again when you're going through this. Like, but it's not mine to take over. I don't have to fix this problem for you. I mean, that to me, I think it is the nature of empathy to say, I want you to know where I'm, like, what's going on for me. So you're not living in a weird void space of, I don't know what's going on for me. It's just distant from me. So I guess that's in my head. It's like, it's not either or, it's yes and. I want to share this with you. It is still mine to take care of. With barring any requests I have, like, could you speak this way to me?
Well, I don't know. Before I respond to Rob's, Matt, do you have a take on that adds or is different than Rob's?
To your question?
I mean, Rob's kind of sucked.
I don't like Rob's. Matt, what do you got?
To your question?
Yeah, to my question, like, how do you, like, if I'm a guy who's never kind of waded into this kind of vulnerability, how do I separate the thing that I need my spouse to be freaked out with me on and the thing I don't?
I guess I don't see, maybe this is just my view, but like, I don't think that there's any situation I can think of where I need my spouse to be freaked out with me. Like, if they can just witness whatever it is I'm
sit next to me.
Yeah, whatever it is I'm talking out, like, it gives me the opportunity to, if that's my way of processing, right? And I do think for a lot of people, even people that say I'm not the type of person that needs to talk it out, I think there is value for most people in getting it out in some external way, whether that's written or talking or whatever. Because I think when it lives in your mind, it's just too jumbled with all sorts of other stuff. So I don't know that my partner would need to feel all of that with me. But I think sometimes, just validating statements help. But I think that the daily kind of, I guess to your question, I don't know that there is one answer on how to distinguish it, but I do think that those are two real experiences. And I think for everybody, it's probably more like, what's the cost to you or your relationship if you over or underdo one of them? So if I'm constantly processing everything in my mind and constantly letting everything go or not, right? Then my partner doesn't really know what's going on for me. And so they're probably making a bunch of assumptions. And so a little, information is helpful that way. If I'm just dumping all the time, then my partner's like, everything's just the same all the time, right? Like, when are you going to maybe figure this out for yourself? Then that can have personal and relationship costs. So I think whatever that balance is for you, for me, I think my first way of processing stuff is personal and kind of an internal thing. And then my first attempt relationally is usually like a vent. And I feel afterward, if I've vented, I don't feel good. I would say I feel appropriately weak and underdeveloped when I do that. But it's not like I all of a sudden do something different because of that. But I think I don't feel good after that, because what I've done, I think, is I've communicated that I'm so stuck in whatever the source of pain is, and I'm not making choices or taking any sort of action about it. And so it's like this perpetual problem, and I just keep kind of folding back into the same thing. So it's only when I get below the venting, and I think that's probably where I've had the most productive relational conversations, is when I'm able to get to the root of the issue and let it go enough that I can start to decide then, like, what does this situation call for? What does this need? What should I do? Right. And I think that a good relationship can facilitate those kinds of conversations. And I also think having like a personal way of releasing tension and build up throughout your day is super critical.
Um, I, yeah, I like what both of you said, actually.
You were going to say, Matt, it's fine. I like
No,
what
it's
both of you said.
what both of you said.
Your
No,
brotherhood gets in the way of liking each other's comments.
when you like, we used the example at some point of, right, if I'm freaking out about money or finances, and I go to my wife and I say, hey, I need you to freak out with me on this for a minute. And that was where I thought, yeah, I get that. Like, hey, honey, we might not be able to pay our mortgage this month, or we might not be able to, like, have this or that, or Susie's braces are going to have to wait for another, like, I get saying, hey, I need you to come step into this with me because this is a problem that both of us have to solve.
So feel the weight
Right?
of
Like,
it with me versus like freak out.
yeah, like, I'm not going to unilaterally make budget decisions for the
Mm-hmm.
family. Like,
Right.
if I'm going to have to cut stuff, then my wife needs to come be involved in that. But that was very different to, like, that to me is not necessarily like, yes, I might have, like, typically things that freak Jenner out, like, for, in financial situations, are not the things that freak me out, and vice versa. Like, we have a couple of things that we both get freaked out on, but for the most part,
Yeah, that's true.
she'll get worried about something and I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about it. And I think, it's not going to do me any good to sit and freak out with her in that moment. In terms of connecting through empathy, yes.
Okay, so
Right, like,
so let me just quickly clarify. Because like,
well,
I'm
no,
not
no,
actually trying to propose like, I'm freaked out, you got to freak out with me.
no,
You know,
no,
it's like,
I
I'm just
know,
proposing empathy, right?
right,
Like,
no, no, and that's when, as you talked, I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. And that's why, like, before you clarified that, like, it really was in my mind, I think, no, there are things that, like, are simply emotionally mine to handle. My wife can have sympathy all day long or empathy all day long. She can't do anything for the fact that I'm feeling that emotion.
I think that's
She can't
most
make it go
emotions I
away.
feel.
She can't, right. She can't take it. She can't carry it.
Right.
It's mine, and I have to be the one to deal with it. And so when you're dealing with emotion, like, yeah, and I, like, we've talked before in the past about how often when, your wife comes and says, "Hey, are you okay?" No, she already knows the answer is no. She knows you're not okay. And so when you say, "Yeah, everything's fine," well, now she just feels like she's being lied to, because she can see you're not okay, but you're telling her you're okay, and so I don't even know what to do with that. Um, and so, like, again, like, yeah, learning how to let it be carried, and or not carried, but of sharing that with your wife, and then trusting her to recognize, oh, I can't fix this for Mike, right? When I go to Jenner and say, this is the thing I'm struggling with, I'm trusting her to recognize she can't fix it for me. It's it's my thing. I got to solve it. But there are those non-emotional things that we, will often freak out about: kids, um, budget, stuff like that. And it's like, no, that you can go to your spouse, and probably should go to your spouse and say, hey, I'm worried about our kid. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how we're approaching things with our kid? Or can we talk about how we're approaching things with our budget? You shouldn't be, I don't feel like, and I hate the word should, but I don't feel like it's in the best interest of the couple for one person to be unilaterally making those decisions. Um, I think it's fine if, like, if week to week you're the guy that handles the budget, that's great. But when you come up with something and it's like, well, I don't even know what we're going to do now. Well, no, you should be asking for help. That's different than saying, yeah, I'm freaking out about the budget. Well, I've got to work through that stuff on my own. I got to work through my own freak out. The solution, no, I don't. Like, she if it's going to require, like I said, cutting things, well, she should be a part of that decision. But I don't know. Does that all make sense? I feel rambly at the moment.
I mean, it does. It's kind of interesting because I always want to clarify, because I think sometimes I don't want to send the message to men that's like that they already hear in their own heads, which is like, yeah, I got my stuff. I'll talk to you about this stuff when you need to be a part of it. And I'm saying, no, look, you can go to your wife and say, I'm freaking out. You need to tell her this is not yours to do anything about, but I'm sharing with you. That's the part where it's like, that's the calm confidence. That's like, yeah, I'm freaking out, and that's okay, but I'm telling you because it helps a little bit, and it helps to have empathy, and so that you know what's going on, but it's not. I'm not proposing at any point anything we feel is somebody else's to take care of.
Yeah,
and that's what's interesting about with my client in the beginning is it's like there was a little bit of that. I think it's like she wants me to do this, and then she doesn't want to take care of me. It's like, well, I don't know if she wants to take care of you. That's not what she was probably proposing. But also there is probably a little bit of like, I did this and then she didn't want to have sex with me. It's like, is that why you did this? So I don't actually think I have like my top 3 things. I do think, well, yeah, I think it's okay to own something, to say, yeah, this is freaking me out, but I'll figure that out, but it helps me to talk through it. And that's when you're proposing that with, sometimes we do that with men. We just don't go super far in it. Like, I know that when I get with you guys, I can talk about, hey, do you guys have any clients where this and this are happening? And it's like, yeah, dude. It's like, yeah, it's freaking annoying.
Well, I guess 3 points here.
Yeah. Here we
3
go.
points of the W.
The 3 points. Oh, David W.
I think it is important to say that this does happen. The thing that this guy's describing, the thing that we've, been talking about, it does happen. So what you're seeing is real. It's playing out that way. And I also think that moving in the direction that it's already going in, if that makes sense. So if it's like, okay, so when I share this with, my partner, she feels more distant and she, all that stuff, right? Like she says she wants it, but then I share and, she's turned off. Don't set that up as like the ideal now to perform to, because that's how relationships are. That is a sign of like underdevelopment and immaturity in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so work toward what we're talking about, which is both partners being able to support each other and share openly what they're struggling with, and detach it from, who you are in my eyes because you did or did not share something with me. Like, that's not the point of a relationship. Right. That's you focusing on who you need the other person to be in your eyes so that you can feel what you want to feel. And that's like, that is the definition of an underdeveloped stance in a relationship. So don't perform to that. Like, talk about trying to outgrow that as a couple, but you do have to highlight what's happening and not say that that's a healthy way for us to continue to move.
Is that all 3? Did I get all 3? The W3. So,
David, you didn't realize how symbolic you were.
No. And how apparently he's really shaping our podcast. Hopefully.
If only he were still listening.
He was a one and done kind of guy. Well then, I guess we've solved life's mysteries again. You're welcome. Come back and catch us next time on The Manspace. Forged by both fire and tenderness, a paradox that made The Manspace a podcast impossible to forget.
Sounds like a very strong and flimsy knife.
You ruined it.